Hello and welcome to this segment of Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN TV. My name is Yetunde Alanamu. It's no longer in news that Oba Dr. Lawrence Oluwole Babajide Bamigbala I is no more, and Princess Olushola Babajide was installed as the regent following the passage of her father. And today I am here with Princess Olushola Babajide. Hello, King. There is a joy in me, and that's because of woman inclusion in leadership. Okay, to start the discussion, can you take us through the brief history of ancient Oke Igbo town and how they come about, Regent?
Oke Igbo was founded during the time of a war, and one of the princes from Ife was assigned, because he was also a warrior, so he was assigned to go to Ondo to settle the dispute between the king back then. And of course, back in those days, we're talking about centuries ago. So his name, it doesn't come to my mind, but I remember. So he went with some of his chiefs, and they were supposed to go to Ondo. But on the way to Ondo, of course, there was all thick forest jungle back in the day. So they got to a place where they needed to rest. And they met, I think it was a hunter. But when they were asking for directions or where they were supposed to rest, they didn't know that the hunter was like an enemy. So they found somewhere to rest, and apparently the hunter now went to Ondo to give them some different stories about, because they were going there for peace. It was a peace kind of mission. But he went and gave them another story that they were coming there to fight a war. So by the time they woke up in the morning, I think the hunter came back. They discovered what he had done, and of course they executed him on the spot. So by the time they now got to Ondo Kingdom, they were prepared for war. But of course, so it did turn into a war, but at the end of the day, they won. And when on their way back, I think to Ife, I think there was this little spot where they stayed because they were tired. And it was this place of Oke Igbo with the hill. And the prince said he didn't want to go back to Ife anymore. They decided to stay here and to set up this place. And that's how Oke Igbo Kingdom was founded.
Okay, so how did they come about the regent?
Well, the regency came into effect. It was a long time ago as well, because of course back in the day there was no medical health like we have nowadays, and people used to die quite young. So when the king was incapacitated, because of course they didn't have female kings in those days, when the king was incapacitated, they selected somebody, of course, who was close to the king, maybe mostly the family, to stand in gap for the king. And especially if the king did have like younger children who were not at that age to be able to rule the kingdom, yes, they would select somebody to stand in gap, to guard them until they reached that age where they would be able to rule on their own. And that's how they started using the regents back in the day.
Okay, so what was the reason why they are using women for the regents instead of using men for it?
Yeah, they explained before. Back in the day, as I said before, they only used men. They never used women. Women had limited rules back in those days. But what happened was that when it was time for the new king to be elected, or to start to step into their position as the king, they realized that the male regents didn't want to let go of the position. I think maybe it was an ego thing, and also it was a power thing as well, that, I'm enjoying where I am. There's a lot of affluence in this position. There's a lot of power and status. So they wouldn't want to step down. So that caused a lot of issues back in the day. So I think they now decided that, let us try and use some females and see whether that will work. And it did work, because, as we've said before, as a regent, a female regent, you're not allowed to marry. If you're a very young person, you're not married yet, you can't marry until you step down from that position. You can't give birth. You can't become pregnant. So women really wanted to get out of it as soon as possible. So as soon as they elected the new king, women will step down easily, and that's why they've been using women ever
Okay,
since.
so what if the woman that they want to choose for the regents, what if she's married already? Will they still choose her, or they will look for another person?
No, they do use women who are married, but as I said before, you can't get pregnant. Even if you're married before you become regent, you're not allowed to carry a pregnancy.
Okay, is there any challenges yet as the king of Oke Igbo, and most especially being a woman, is there any challenges yet ruling the kingdom?
I will say there are challenges because as a woman, you know, especially if you're married, you've got your own family, you've got your own children, that's even work on its own. And then if you have a husband who's not supportive,
Yes.
and yeah, so there could be challenges because it's hard. You have to shuttle between taking care of your family, taking care of, you know, things at home. Then you also have to make sure that you're, you're the ruler of the kingdom in a way, in a sense. And yeah, so there are challenges.
Okay, as a new king, what should be the expectation of the Oke Igbo town at large?
Well, I think they should expect for me, as I said before, I want to, I'm walking in my dad's legacy. We don't want his legacy to die. We want his legacy to continue because God used him to do in the few years that he was the king, the monarch, those 4.5 years, he did a lot in this kingdom. And the townspeople are aware. I mean, so I want them to expect from me what my dad did. I want my dad's ceiling to be my floor so that I can even do, I pray by the grace of God, that I can do, even match what he did or even do better things or greater things. Because the progress and development of this kingdom is, that is my passion right now.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think are the important things to do as a ruler of the kingdom?
Well, I believe listening to the people, listening to them, listening to their views. You know, don't not becoming like, you know, arrogant and proud, thinking, okay, yeah, I'm this position, nobody else matters, you know, I can do what I like, you know, but because we have a duty of care, that's what we say over there, we have a duty of care to ensure that, you know, the people, this is a position of trust, it's a position of responsibility, and I believe that we owe it to the people of this kingdom to ensure that, you know, the progress and development of this kingdom is top upmost in our hearts, and that we put things into place so that things will be better for them and better for the kingdom at large, not only for Oke Igbo, but in Ondo State and also in Nigeria, because this place has got a lot of potentials. It's got a lot of potential. And there's so many things here that even growing up as a child, you know, coming here for holidays, and even now as an adult and as a mature person, we see the potentials all around us. It's just that, you know, we're working towards it. So,
okay, if I can ask, can you tell us some of the potentials that are here in Oke Igbo?
When it comes, I know that, especially in Ondo State, when it comes to academics, we know that for sure that there are a lot of academicians in Ondo State and in Oke Igbo as well, and we see how the students, the children are doing well, they're excelling in their studies, and they're very, very passionate about what they want to do in their education. So the late KBC, that's why I mentioned before, he's put this scholarship, you know, into place for them to encourage the students, you know, and even those who cannot afford, maybe their parents can't afford it, they may they're like from poorer families, you know, to ensure that they get the best education that they can to reach the goals where they, you know, where they're going to.
Okay, so how do you intend to bring positive change, foster unity, and also promote growth of Oke Igbo Kingdom as a regent?
First of all, of course, I need the support. Because this man, no man is an island.
Yes.
I can't do this on my own. Of course, the chiefs come first, the high chiefs, the senior chiefs, the obas, you know, the bales, all of us coming together to work together as one. And of course, unity is key because we have to be united in, even as we come put heads together, you know, and put ideas together for the development of the kingdom. If there's no unity, if there's no support, the Bible says, united we stand, divided we fall, things won't work. So I think unity is key, and getting support from, you know, the other members of the Council of the Chiefs.
Okay, you have already said something about the achievement of the late king, but at least we want to know more about all of his achievements, at least the one that you can remember to tell us.
Well, he worked on, as I said before, education was #1. I've already talked about that. And he also he did a lot, even within the few years he was here, the infrastructure of the roads, they've got beautiful roads now. I remember when I came several years ago, the roads were terrible. But within that short time, he has managed to make, you know, to make the roads and make sure that they're smooth for everybody to be able to, you know, go by car. And also the electricity as well. We can see that there's been improvement in electricity in this community as well. Now we've got solar. We've got the solar electricity, and even when you come in, even in the nights, you see all the street lights are all lit up there, and it's all beautiful. And yeah, and I know that he was working towards something in the terms of healthcare as well. So I know he's been liaising and communicating with some organizations, I think in Undu as well, because healthcare, we only have a little health center in Oke Igbo. That's one of the projects I'm going to work on as well. But yeah, he worked on that as well, and he was trying to make sure he improved healthcare for the citizens of Oke Igbo as well. And also with regards to even the real estate as well, because I know that during his term as well, a lot of people have now come from the diaspora to buy land, to develop the land into, you know, to building houses or estates that will bring in more people, attracting more people from all over the country and even from abroad. So yeah.
Okay, what can you say about Oke Igbo culture?
Well, Oke Igbo culture, like the culture in Nigeria, is very rich. It's deep. Some of the culture here can be funny, but I believe that our culture is very important, because without it, you know, that's one of the things that makes us who we are. And yes, so it's important that we imbibe our culture into our children. I know that a lot of people have become westernized, and there's nothing wrong in, you know, going abroad, but imbibing your culture into your children so that they will be able to understand, you know, and also pass it on to their own children, I think is very important.
Tell us some of the cultures that you used to do in Oke Igbo.
Of course, culture, I would say, even though I haven't seen the Egun festival for years. We only used to come to Oke Igbo occasionally during the summer holidays to watch the festival. So I know that's one of the cultures of this town, and I know that it's been going on for centuries. Great grandfathers. I know that some people see them as idols, as you know, but back then to us it was just something of fun, and we come and see them dance. You know, and I know they had the final day in the town square where they all come together and do different dances and things. So it was fun for us. I mean, remember growing up, that festival.
Okay, have you ever thought of becoming the king of Oke Igbo?
Not in my lifetime, even up to a few months ago. Never, ever, ever. Because we all believed that when the late Kabiesi became the king in 2018, that he was fulfilling his destiny. Well, he did fully fulfill his destiny, actually. He fulfilled his purpose. So we as his children were there to support him in fulfilling his role, which we did till he passed on to glory. But if anybody had even told me, even when he passed away in April, that will become the next regent of Oke Igbo, I would say, no, yeah, that's good. No, there's no way. So no, I never ever imagined me being, and even if when we even had the meetings and discussions after he passed away, it was supposed to go to the eldest daughter, not me, because I'm the youngest daughter. So no, I never knew.
So what was the reaction of the oldest daughter when they picked you to become the regent of
They were
Oke
the
Igbo?
ones who said I should do it. So it wasn't a matter of, it wasn't like a power struggle, like, oh yeah, I want to do it, you want to do it. There was no rivalry, there was nothing. It was, they wanted me to do it. They didn't want to do it.
Okay, so what was the reaction of your husband when he learned that you want to become the regent of Oke Igbo?
He couldn't believe it as well. Nobody could believe it. We were all like, because initially I declined as well. I have to say, I didn't know, but I didn't want to do it. Because it was like, okay, how am I going to be able to fulfill my duties, you know, irresponsibly? I don't live in this country. I've got a full-time job. My family's not here. So initially I declined as well, but I just had to think about it and prayed about it and just thought about my dad's legacy. I didn't want his legacy to die. I wanted it to continue through us, the children. That's one of the main reasons why I accepted the position.
Okay, what sort of advice do you have for sons and daughters of Oke Igbo, home and abroad, as regard community development?
Yeah, I would advise people to come, because as I mentioned before, there's a lot of potential in this kingdom. It may look small on the outside, but on the inside there's so much to do. And without the support of people in diaspora, you know, it will be quite hard. So I would ask that you come here, even if you've been away for a long time. I know some people have been, you know, in Europe, America, where they've been all over the place for a long time. They don't come regularly. I would advise you to come home, even if it's just maybe like for 3 weeks or something, 2 weeks. Come and see yourself and see the potential in this kingdom. And then you can make up your own minds, but there is a lot of potential.
Thank you very much, King. May you live long.
Thank you very much.
That will be all on today's episode of Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN TV. I am Yetunde Alanamu. Join us next time.